and 72, and these are German numbers.
Oh.
And so the ones look like partially formed fours. Greater psoas and smaller psoas, 71 to 72. They're right here. Okay? And they run up to the lower back and come over here and they hook on the ilium, and they run around and hook on the femur. But I want everybody to get a look at it. I refer to them as psoas. Okay? Greater psoas, lesser psoas, but they're right in here. PSOAS. And they also, when they're super lit up, you can feel them through here. Now, when a psoas locks up, and you tend to do that, it is very difficult to get in here and apply pressure. Right? Because they've got to come through the abdominal wall, which is very dangerous when done improperly. And now I've got to apply pressure on them. And as you may, if anyone has ever been kicked in this region, it's pretty heavily innervated. And so this can hurt a lot. But this is psoas, and I want, before we study it in the book, I mean, you guys have seen and heard about it before, I hope. I want everybody to just come in. Obviously, it's going to be tagged. But I want you to get a feel. We can't see the full run of it. We can't see the full insertion. But I want you to get a feel for it because it's a major muscle, both in strength training and in dysfunctional movement. And I never, believe it or not, I never had this tag on. Iliacus, or iliac muscle, you will sometimes see that reference. Here, this section right here is good to get familiar with, because what we'll do is we'll bring this model back. Well, maybe not. For the final, you can also tag it here, because look right here, how big and clear these origins are. And so that gives you twice the ability to figure out what's going on. You can see the origin, you know where it starts, you know this is not moving, and you can see the direction it's going. You can have a real good guess. So they're calling 86. I just want to make sure you use their word. This one, long adductor muscle, which is typically just called adductor longus of the anterior thigh. Adductor longus. You can actually see that it would come up and the origin would be here, and it is slowing down. So it's obviously a contract. But you can get a feel. So now when I ask you what psoas does, in your book lists 4,000 things. I want you to picture that psoas is running from the lumbar spine down to the innominate. And then when we get over to the leg model, you'll be able to see its insertion. So we don't care about any of this. We're just doing a quick review. I'm literally trying to shovel information on top of the kid. Understand? Thank you. Here. I'm going to try to borrow this. And so, and then this is running, this is a costal transverse. Just to see it. I'm not going to test you on it. Just as you're looking, as you're sitting in your book, if you get confused, you're like, oh, what does a spinal transverse look like? Oh, my book calls it this or this or this or this. That gives you a feeling, and you can now see what it does. When it's engaged, it's going to close this down. it's actually going to cause the body to turn the other way. You're welcome to take pictures of these. Did everybody get pictures of the models? Somebody here who had did anybody here broken a collarbone or had collarbone problems?
Me. My brother.
It's pretty common.
My daughter.
It sucks.
Oh, absolutely.
She shouldn't be with Bruce.
You broke yours?
Yeah.
I had a girl came down, elbowed me right in it.
Oh, ooh.
They said my brother was
That is.
started feeling
I'm
it.
going to pull off the deltoid. What a beautiful deltoid, right? I'm going to pull off the deltoid.
Got a nail in it, though.
This is a separation.
Something didn't like him.
That's what it looks like. So you'll see a guy in the gym, real common among bodybuilders, heavy weightlifters, and they've got this is poking up. That's a separation. If it stays within, remember the paraphysiological space, remember the first slide? This is obviously way outside of it. But let's say it only goes up to here, in the case of your brother. He popped it up to here. Then, at an equal and opposite force, it settled it back in. You didn't damage the joint enough to lose it.
I was gonna say, all he had to do was like really.
Is this common for the separation, or can it be done? Yes, it can be done. It's very, very uncommon because there's not a whole lot of motion here. And so the common way, here I've got a perfect shear. If I take a load right here, my shoulder's going to drop down, and this is going to get stuck up. It's really easy to have. Any fracture in here, because this is one of the first bumps that forms in the body, to break it, it's usually just that. That's it. Boom, you're broken, you're down. It's a risky strike that can also hit you. Here, though, it's really tough to break short of compressions, right? But you're about to die anyway, your heart's not working, the last thing you're going to care about is the broken ribs, which you should always break when doing compressions. But yeah, this, what it typically does is it stays within the paraphysiological space, but gets out of alignment, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. But that can actually just be, it's an unpleasant adjustment, but you can actually come down on top of it and tuck it back in. Or someone else can who has a license. Or if you're in the wilderness and, but that's what that looks like. So this is a really good view right here. And then, so for those of you that are here, this is literally the most evil thing I could do to tag, right? Yep. But if it's by itself.
Oh.
I'm just letting you know.
So that's the
That would be evil,
was
isn't it?
major.
Yes.
Well, would any of you here not miss it?
I'm pretty sure that's what our
problem.
I'm pretty
Station
sure
by
that's what our
itself.
211 person did.
Put that right there.
You just go what muscle?
What is it? You're like, well, I was a class officer. Of course I know spec manager.
I'm pretty sure our 211 lecture or 211 lab did that.
Oh, usually for the final, what I typically try to, as a helper, for folks that are sucking it up, what I'll usually do is I'll put this, and then typically I'll put like a patella by itself. Right, just so if you've been in class, you're like, and for folks that,
Didn't he have a patella
no
by
judgment
itself
about
in the
folks
last
that could make
one?
today, some folks are less disciplined or don't have good friends in class, then they struggle. But it was right there for them. It's on the pick list. So get that picture, get latissimus. But look right here. I mean, this is a textbook. Right? And right here, what are these?
That's the wrong one.
Rumbles. Absolutely beautiful. One of the strangest things, next time you guys are doing the gym, weightlifting, or you're in the gym, take a look at some of the folks that are lower body fat and just, I mean, be subtle, but look between their shoulder blades. It could be, and you'll laugh because you'll see someone that has huge, like cowboy boots, might be. You'll see huge shoulders, huge pecs, tiny rhomboids, and you know their shoulder function is shot. And I can also tell you that thoracic mobility is gone. And when your thoracic mobility is gone, your bench press tends to drop. So, as well as your hands go down. We've seen that. We've seen this. What's the big thing here?
So
psoas. So when you look at your book, psoas at a certain point in your training will get overemphasized. What's this right here?
The QL.
QL, quadratus lumborum. I'm trying to only show you things you can either see an origin or an insertion. Because I don't want you, I realized the big mistake I made was, you were memorizing that 78 is this. I need you to memorize the joint as much as you can. So that's what you'll be working with, I believe. At least when I look at exercises. We've got some muscles in here. That's the big one on this one. All right. I got this thing. What's this? What's this? What?
Wait, which one are we putting at?
It's a diamond.
The trapezius.
So, what do you think I'm going to attack twice? Because this is where people miss it. Or they miss it on the neck. They forget that trapezius is
It goes all the way down to T12?
Oh.
Almost?
Sorry.
My bad, geez.
No, that was, remember I told you about that test? That's what I was flashing back to. What are the origin and insertion of trapezius? A through F. Pick all that are correct.
There's a lot of them.
Yes, there is.
Because it comes up to on the front, doesn't it?
Right, this is not tagged, it's not tagged. Over here again, this should be glute medius. What is this?
That's what I'm giving you.
This is, yes, this is the PTSD nerve.
Oh, I was talking about that's what I was giving you with flashbacks.
It should be called a what? We'd love for it to call it femoral nerve, but it's not. It runs the full length of the back of the leg. What do old people say they have when their back hurts?
Charlie horse.
Young people. Very rarely will an old person be like, I was out playing ball and I got a Charlie horse.
I got pulled nerve.
Allopathic practitioners will diagnose it like this. You're like, oh, I got this pain right here, or this pain right here, or this shooting pain, sciatic.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Sciatic median pain, this is the sciatic nerve. And it's about this big. What you can have happen is if somebody has terrible form or a slight, their body is shaped slightly differently, the sciatic can actually come up in the middle of glute medius. And as they begin training glute medius, all of a sudden, they get sciatic pain. Really simple to figure out. If I push on your butt here, it shouldn't hurt. Right?
Right.
If I push on your butt here and you get lightning-like electrical pains, it's just like hitting your funny bone.